So you just got your insurance license and you're wondering what comes next. In this video, I'm going to give you my 5 top tips to helping you figure out what type of insurance product to sell now that you're a licensed agent. Hello. This is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense and Medicare, both face-to-face and over the phone. Thank you so much for watching. Again, the purpose of this video is to give you some guidance. In fact, 5 tips on how to figure out and decide what insurance product you want to sell. This is mostly geared towards brand new agents that are completely new to this whole thing in the insurance world, but also geared to more experienced agents, maybe getting back into the business or looking for a different kind of product to sell and want a little guidance on which direction to go. So let's jump right in with what your options or what factors I would consider if I were in your shoes. So number 1, ask yourself, how fast do you need to get paid? This is really important. There's all sorts of people that would love to sell a very high commission type of product, say like an annuity. But the problem with selling annuities is that sometimes to get paid and get a policy written, there's a sales cycle that you have to go through that may be weeks, if not months. And many of us, can't put off the mortgage for more than a month. So we have to factor in what our lives dictate as far as what bills need to be paid and how quickly we need to be paid versus how fast on average the insurance product we're looking to sell actually takes to turn around. So for example, a lot of people who work in my agency sell final expense. And the main reason is because final expense is a quick pay product. You literally write the product and get it approved one day, and then within the next day or two with most of our carriers, you get paid your commission. So it's a great product for new agents who don't necessarily have a lot of money in the bank but want to one day, but need a product to kind of sell and make money quickly. Likewise, if you're in a position where, maybe you've got a spouse that works or you're financially more secure and you can wait a little longer to get paid, this is where you would consider a product something like annuity sales or perhaps even Medicare sales, where the startup period of getting paid on Medicare is slower but much more substantial over the long term since it's a residual-based product. So consider carefully what type of income situation you're in and what the demands are to your budget, and pick a product appropriately that best matches your cash flow needs. Tip number 2 is consider the long-term opportunity that your insurance product provides. Now, this is really important. So, for example, if we look back to, 15 years ago at this point, is it a good idea to consider selling health insurance when President Obama was elected, since he was elected on the plank of getting rid of private health care and offering a government option? Probably not. Again, hindsight's 2020, but there's an immediate impact on what the world and circumstances are happening as to what kind of products we actually sell. Likewise, we need to consider what the future foretells as far as picking what type of product to sell. For example, if you're watching this and the stock market isn't doing so great, and the housing market's collapsing too, it may not be a good time to sell mortgage protection because there are fewer homes being sold and less people more inclined to spend money they don't think they necessarily should spend and maybe wait on. And life insurance is one of those things that people will put off, especially if they're under pressure. And if there's not a lot of homes being sold, you don't generate a lot of leads. So at least for myself and what I teach my agents to do, this is the biggest reason why we look to the senior market as a long-term market strategy. The senior market is booming and has done really well even amidst the pandemics and lockdowns we've experienced. For example, the technical aspect, the fundamentals of this business are super strong. There are 10 to 11,000 seniors a day turning 65 for the next 10 years into 2030. The overall population of seniors age 65 and older will increase by 50% from 2020 to 2040. And the average insurance agent is age 60. And a lot of these people are going to be retiring or getting too old to work or sick and not working as much or just generally dialing down because they're in retirement years. So we're looking at one of the biggest opportunities, I think, in the entire insurance market. Is the senior market is wide open for the person who wants to commit to it. And when I say senior market, we're talking final expense, certainly Medicare as well, and annuities too. So as far as making a career projection, especially in this world where God knows what's going to happen one day to the next, there seemingly is a lot of security in the senior market because of everything I said for decades. And that's a good sign, at least in my opinion. What I teach my agents is why we focus on the senior market first and foremost. Another important point that is oft talked about is a realistic view of what it takes to actually be successful versus according to your schedule. So let me give you an example. If you sell something like mortgage protection, you're dealing with people who are in a position of working. They're usually younger. They bought a house, and now they are essentially unreachable until the end of the day or on weekends. And the impact to you, if you're selling something like mortgage protection, is that you're going to be working a lot of late nights. You're likely going to be traveling a lot because it's almost impossible to get enough full-time activity out of one city unless you're in some mega city. So there's a bunch of driving around, a bunch of travel invested, and a lot of time away from family. And if you've got family, you got kids, and you'd like to be around them, then this is going to be difficult for you. This is why, again, I like the final expense or Medicare business, because we're dealing with seniors. They're generally mostly retired, disabled, not running around at night or the day. So we can see them really when we want to, not just during the week in the mornings and evenings, but also on the weekends too. So for those of you looking to start part-time or wanting a little more flexibility in your schedule, a senior market strategy seems to be really good. I've worked it for years. It's incredible. But make sure overall, before any product you pick, assess the time commitment requirements, because it's going to be a long-term strategy, and it's going to be really hard to switch out of a business strategy, especially if you start getting traction. And you got to consider what the costs are to the family long-term if that is an issue. Tip number 4 is to consider the leads question. Should you do it on a paid or free basis? What does the insurance product entail? A large portion of this business is based off of networking with friends and family or business associates. If that's your strategy, then great. If you don't like that kind of strategy, you also need to change up your approach. Likewise, if you want to buy leads, some people love to buy leads. Some think it's the biggest waste of money on the face of the planet. Both are right, both are wrong. I guess you can say it just depends on the person. The point being is that you have to make your mind up. Don't sell final expense if you don't want to invest in paid leads, because the model that most final expense agents use is a paid lead driven strategy. Likewise, don't get into the business market to sell insurance products, because it's likely that you're going to be cold prospecting, cold calling, maybe a little referral networking. So again, match up what your desire is as far as what you want your lead system to look like with what is most likely to be the case with the particular product that you're selling. Tip number 5, last but not least, follow your instinct, people, okay? Usually your gut's right, okay? There's a survival mechanism, trusting your gut. And don't do any kind of product that just doesn't fit right with you, that you don't have a passion or interest in. Even if it's lucrative, if you're not entertained or it doesn't enjoy you, it's going to be a waste of time, and it's better just to avoid it altogether. So make sure that you pick a product that you enjoy with a group of people that you like, because that's what's going to give you the ability to keep your head in the game and make this business opportunity last for a long-term career. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of doing something with your insurance licensing and figuring out what steps to take. Again, to recap here on the screen, the tips you need to consider include: first, how fast do you need to get paid? 2, long-term market opportunity. 3, realistic view of time commitment. 4, the leads question, paid or free. And 5, simply just follow your instinct. Follow those tips, and you're likely going to end up in an insurance sales situation that is more aligned with your goals and your personality. My name is David Duford of Duford Insurance Group. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to learn more about my agency, click the links above and below. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you'd like, and we'll see you next time, y'all. Take care.